let's look at some loops. So we can go ahead and let's say we've got an array, a equals and we want to iterate over the values in the array. So we can use a for loop. We use parens in a for loop just like C does. So we can say, for instance, element of A, and then we can print out, let's say, what A is, or what the element is. And so we get the 314159. Okay. If we wanted to use the indices, we have a generalized for loop, which allows us to do, so let's say we let I, let's say, equal 0, and then we use a semicolon. So this is the beginning condition before the first semicolon, and then this condition is the continuation condition. So let's say while I is less than a.length, and then finally we have a condition that happens to update the state. So in this case we could say like I++. We could just print out what I is. So this would be the equivalent of doing a for I in, range, length of A. Okay. And then we could do, if we wanted to print out the values, of course, we can do A at I. So this is the more general form of a for loop, and it's exactly taken from C. The of version is not unlike the in of Python. We do have other forms of loops. So for instance, oh, and by the way, an infinite loop you may occasionally see looks like that. I'm not going to actually do that because it will run forever, and I'm not exactly sure in the REPL how to stop it. Control-C might work, but I'm not going to do that. So that's a common way to see it. We have while loops, so we can say while some condition, while, let's just let I equal 0, while I is less than 9, I++. We have break statements that'll break out of a loop. So we could say, for instance, do an infinite loop, and we could say if I++ is greater than 15, break. And I now became 17, let's say why, because this broke when I was 16, but then we post-incremented it and turned it to 17. Just for naming purposes, when you're naming variables, parameters, methods, you should use camel case with a lower initial, so something like this. For okay, something like that. And then you want to use uppercase for all class names.